All right, so hi everyone. Welcome to Ames Public Library Online. Ames Public Library connects you to the world of ideas through diverse and inclusive resources and programming. If you have an idea for a program, you can let us know via the program proposal form on our website. I'm Tanvir Stogie. I'm the teen librarian at Ames Public Library. This program on Black activism is presented in partnership between the library, Ames Pride, and the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Ames. I hope I said that correctly. We're really happy to have you join us. We're really happy to have these panelists with us. I'm gonna let Nikki Port, who's in here, explain really quick Otter, which is our live captioning service.
Perfect, everyone. So to enhance our accessibility tonight, we have live streaming of captions available. If you look at the top of the Zoom window, you'll see a red box that says live. Next to it, it says, if you click the down arrow, you can choose to view the stream on a custom live streaming service. That's going to open it up in another window in a URL where you can watch live captioning of our event tonight. If something goes wrong with that, you can click copy streaming link, and I'm going to do it right now and put it in the chat, but that link will also work to see captioning if you need it. Also, just know that behind the scenes, we're going to be trying to make a safe space for our panelists tonight. Thank you for being here, panelists. That includes moderating out anybody whose actions or comments don't fall in line with the purpose of our discussion tonight. And so we wanted to make sure that you know that for the safety of our panelists and for Tanvi, that's something that we do with our programming at Ames Pride. If you have questions, just let me know via the chat. Thanks.
And I can guarantee you all that I am by far the least interesting person on the screen right now. So I'm going to turn off my camera and mic, and I'm going to pass it to Luana Nelson Brown. Thanks, Luana.
Thank you, Tanvi. And I totally disagree that you're the least interesting person on the screen right now. And I believe all the other panelists agree with me. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 7 o'clock during election week, where we still don't have results in. So for you to be here with us today is quite amazing. So I appreciate your coming. Today we're gonna have a discussion. It's gonna be a free-flowing conversation. Nothing incredibly formal. We don't have PowerPoints for you, but we do have ourselves. And I can definitely say that I'm sharing the screen with some amazing, amazing people doing some amazing work. And this is an opportunity for them to tell you all of the incredible things that they're doing and share their brilliance with you. And the reason we're doing this is because there's so many false narratives out there right now about Black activists and what we're doing, what we're fighting for, how we fight, that we, are grateful to have this opportunity to set the record straight. So I'm going to have my fantastic 5 panelists really just share with you what they feel like is most important for you to know in their activism, and talk, openly and freely on whatever they feel is necessary to be shared while taking care of themselves, of course, and just kind of give you an insider's glimpse at what it's like to be an activist. I guess I should probably tell you who I am and why I'm facilitating. So my name is Luana Nelson Brown, and I'm the executive director of the Iowa Coalition for Collective Change. And we are an organization that provides training and technical assistance to culturally specific anti-violence organizations, homicide response programs, and any organization or corporation that wishes to adopt an anti-racist policy to end violence. I've been doing activism work for 25 years-ish. And my very first action as an activist came in the 6th grade when I organized my first protest. Because I know, because I was raised Catholic, and back then, I don't know if this has changed. See, I just nodding their head already. I don't know if this has changed, but back when I was in sixth grade, only boys could participate in service, in mass or church service. So they literally called them altar boys, which we're not even going to get into the gender, you know, but also, you know, I mean, the sexism in the Catholic Church is, anyway, I organized my first protest in sixth grade, and I've been participating in sit-ins and protests ever since. I'm the child of a mother who was raised in rural Mississippi in the 30s and 40s, and a father who was a Black Panther in Chicago. So I guess I get it honest. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I'll be doing this until either A, I die, or B, I don't have to. And I know that the other 5 people on the screen with me probably feel the same way as well. So we're just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna really quick look at chat real quick. Okay, there's a lot of thank you for being here. You're welcome. Yeah, we're, we're gonna just jump right in, and I'm gonna let really quick each panelist give an introduction. Maybe say a little bit about, you know, what your activism means to you, how you got started, whatever, you know, you want the people to know before we jump into formal questions. And I'm going to start just in the order of my screen, which brings me to Ezra, student at Roosevelt. Is that right? I don't okay, awesome. Fantastic. Ezra, you have the mic.
Thank you so much. My name is Ezra Odole. I'm a senior at Roosevelt High School in Des Moines. I'm not sure if everyone here is Ames or what cities we're all from, but I'm from Des Moines. I'm a Black Nigerian American high school student, and I don't know. So I guess an introduction would be I'm a swimmer, I'm a soccer player, I like to draw. Volleyball is a pretty cool sport. All those things are really fun to me. For my activism work, I am a core facilitator with Georgia. She runs, I'll let her do her own thing, but I'm a facilitator at Central Academy, one of a and I also do presentations such as this one, my privilege conference, which was canceled last year, sadly. Privilege symposium actually this Saturday, and among other presentations. And so, what does my activism mean to me? I think what she said was beautiful, where this until you don't have to. That is a beautiful statement. Agree with it wholeheartedly. I consider myself a serial optimist. So I really believe that change can happen, and we have the power to make that change. So that is what I'm fighting for. That is what I do all this for.
Thank you. That was so well said. Yay, Ezra. And you know what? Since you mentioned Georgia, I'm going to jump right to you next, Georgia. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself a little. Also senior at Roosevelt High School, right? Yeah. Yay, Roosevelt. I live in Johnston, but I still say yay, Roosevelt, because yeah, anyway. And then, you know, just tell us a little bit about what activism means to you.
Hi guys, my name's Georgia. I use she, her pronouns. Like Luana said, I'm a senior at Roosevelt High School. I am a core facilitator. CORE stands for Community of Racial Equity. It is a youth-led grassroots organization that started at Roosevelt High School that's been around for like 7 years now, I think. I think we're approaching our 8th year, which is really exciting. And basically the main focus of our organization is to promote equity in education. And so we do a lot of professional development in other districts. We speak out of, like Ezra said, a lot of presentations, a lot of symposiums to mainly focusing on educating our educators to create safe and equitable education spaces for the kids that are growing up behind us, to try and help prevent some of the situations that we were in growing up and kind of clear the sidewalk behind us. So I think like the passion like the main source of my passion for my equity work is that probably my dad. I'm mixed race. My dad's Black, and he is a public defender for Polk County. And so he basically, his job is to defend the people that nobody wants to defend. And oftentimes, too often, that's poor Black men. And so I've grown up around this man who's dedicated his life, and I can't help but to follow in his footsteps, even though I won't tell him that to his face. But yeah, that's probably where my passion comes from. And yeah, that's just a little bit about myself.
Thank you. I love hearing, where the activism comes from. I love hearing that in people's stories and getting a glimpse into, a little bit of the personal. We sometimes see each other out there in the streets, but, it's good to hear a little bit of the personal story. So thank you, Georgia, for saying that. And also, I realized I did not give my pronouns. I use she, her pronouns. So just kind of say that. So I'm going to move it and pass the mic over to Lynette. And Lynette, with your beautiful hair, I love it. A recent graduate from Iowa State University and also an artist.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Lynette Palmensa. I use she, her pronouns. And as Luana said, I recently just graduated from Iowa State in May 2020. So thank God. Yes. And my activism work looks a little different because being a student, a lot of it was tied to the organizations that I was a part of while at Iowa State. And then now phasing out of that and not being a student anymore, my activism is through, I actually am one of the co-chairs for Ames BLM here in Ames, Iowa. And yeah, I think, let's see, while at Iowa State, I was the model casting director for a multicultural magazine called Sir Magazine. And so a lot of my activism I find is through, like, I say art, and that's like fashion and creating and allowing people to, tell their stories in an unapologetic and authentic way to themselves. So yeah, and I think, let's see, my reason for what I do, it's just, I don't know, I think my life, like growing up with the identities I possess, like having to, navigate that in a very white world, and justify why I am valid, like my person is valid, really like drove me, and finding my voice drove me to do all the work that I do today. So yeah.
I love that. I love that so much because I think so much of what we do is exactly that, right? You grow up and you automatically, society tells you that you have to prove yourself as a human being. And at some point in time, it's like, you know what? No, we are done with that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Lynette. That just really spoke to me. So I have more questions forming in my brain around that. So I'm gonna move on over to the amazing Aja, who is a first-year graduate student at Iowa State and has organized racial justice events in Boone. So tell us about you, Aja. Grace us with your brilliance.
I don't know about brilliance, and I mean, as a writer, we all know we're not always the best orators. So yes, I'm a first-year graduate student at Iowa State, which is where I got my undergraduate degree. I got a Bachelor of Liberal Studies, and I'm a first-year graduate student in the Master's of Fine Arts in Creative Writing and Environment program, having the time of my life. It's been a very supportive program. And yes, I lived in Ames for 6 years. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, which is where I did a lot of reproductive rights activism. I started working with Planned Parenthood, as well as now the National Organization for Women. I did a lot of clinic defense, lots and lots of clinic defense, especially in Houston, which has the largest Planned Parenthood facility in the world and was frequently attacked simply for that. So I moved to Boone last year, and really most of the work in a town like Boone, a county like Boone, is getting the dialogue started. And I hadn't really done any racial justice work before then, but there was a few people, primarily Sam Poole, wonderful man, Megan Poole, wonderful young student, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, and a great artist. Check out her photography. Oh, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, sorry. And wanted to do something in response to a lot of the anti-Black murders that have occurred, especially during the summer. And so I was doing a lot of the orchestrating and logistics and execution more so than anything else. I primarily passed the mic to Megan. And as a writer, that's what I like to do. I like to organize and piece things together. I don't always have to be the mouthpiece. So this is still a bit new for me. But yeah, so primarily getting the dialogue and understanding or getting people to see that balance of bark and whisper, show and then tell, and how it can't just be show and it can't just be tell, and really getting that message to people and the waiting and listening process that must occur. So after our march, where hundreds came, and I was floored, and every day I am so proud of my community for showing up and saying, we're not letting this happen here. We have hundreds of people that are going to show up if y'all try this here. And that's beautiful. And that is the start. And so many conversations that have occurred, and Black people in town saying, people are being nicer to me. The white people here are being nicer to me. And that, that's so much of it. And just that simple comfort in walking out of your door. Because, I gotta say, you walk by some houses in Boone and you're like, do I need to cross the street? I cross the street depending on where I am in Boone. That's the reality. I mean, y'all missed the history lesson. I mean, I know the schools are underfunded, but I believe they taught that Iowa was not part of the Confederacy. They're teaching that in these schools. I'm well aware. I substitute taught in these schools. So we're really getting this dialogue going and getting people to understand that it's not simply you say this, you have this sticker up and you're a safe person, or you do this and you do that, you're not a safe person. It is about the relationships that we build and the response. I'm very proud of the police response. They made sure things were safe. We had a gun threat. And so because of our protest and because of the police response together, that puts the onus on both of us to have dialogue and open communication. And that's where things start. And so it's not, I had a lot of response, well, the people of color don't feel safe here. Well, they need to respect us and this and that. It's like, that's not how it goes, buddy. And yet we're not attacking and bashing. We're all being peaceful here. But there is a dialogue on both sides and all sides, and we're silencing those who are not seeking productivity, who just want to bark and put up a profile picture or put something on social media. And then there are those who are just simply not interested in any means of communication and moving forward and listening and hearing and finding those people and realizing that that's what it is. I mean, there is a responsibility, especially when you have authority and power and control and a weapon, but we have to, there has to be a show and tell on both for everyone. And we all have to listen, and we're going somewhere, we're getting somewhere. And I'm quite happy that we still hit some things people aren't just going to hear and see, and that's just the reality, but we'll move along where we can and will, and there has been some growth. And so we have some next steps, and holding a talk on the 11th, and I'm really excited, and I was so happy. And so yeah, don't discount these small little Iowa towns. Don't let a map tell you everything. That's if nothing else, do not let a map tell you everything.
Right. I'm glad you said that too, because I tell you what, I read about you in an article when you did your march. And for the first time, since I've lived in Iowa, I was like, I might actually travel to Boone, because prior to then, you would not catch me in Boone unless I was driving through, okay? It just was not gonna happen. I saw too many racist things happen, one with a Black reporter. I can't read, there were 2 incidents that I was like, the train sounds nice, but it won't see me until Aja, your work, and to bring that many people out in support of racial justice, I thought was just incredible. So I think all of us are going to jump in the car and come up to Boone and see you, if that's all right with you.
Give me like another year. I'm not sure if they're ready for a full-on Black cookout. I mean, we got to do baby steps with some of these people. They still think their little mixed grandkids mean that they're not racist. I cannot tell you how many times they hear, my grand. Next panel.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's history right there too, y'all. You know, out in the audience, you know, 2 or more Black people could not be seen, you know, together during Black codes. And so this is why part of the reason we do what we do, right? So thank you, Aja, for all of that. And I'm gonna jump to Buffy, who is a personal friend of mine. And she's also they're also the co-founder of the Queer Communities of Color Coalition, right? And yeah, and a board member of my organization, the Iowa Coalition for Collective Change. And I tell you, if I listed all of their accomplishments and all of their bio, we would be here for 15 minutes. So I am going to let Buffy introduce themselves and tell more about your brilliance and what your activism means to you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, friend, for that introduction. For the record, it is the Iowa Queer Communities of Color Coalition. We're very, very close, though.
Thank you.
Yes, we also accept IQ3C, IQC3, IQ I've heard it all different ways. We understand that it's a tongue twister and we get that it's long. So we will work with you. As long as you can get it out some way, cool. Love it. Yeah, I am Buffy Jameson, they, them, theirs, or she, her, hers. Preferred they, them, theirs, really, though. She, her, hers is because I don't have all damn day to listen to people fumble over they, them, theirs, quite frankly. Yeah, I was born and raised here in Des Moines, Iowa. If you saw me pumping my fist a lot at some of these school names, that's because I went there. So, went to King Perkins for elementary school, Merrill for middle school, Roosevelt for high school. 08, okay, I'm old, but that's okay. Go Rough Riders, okay? And then DMAC, and then Iowa State, where I got my bachelor's in world languages and cultures with an emphasis in Spanish. And then I went to the University of Denver, where I got my master's degree in higher education, which is another reason why you see me pumping my fist for all of these Black people getting their degrees. Like, yes. Yeah, as far as what my activism means to me, I mean, I'm going to echo some of what my fellow panelists have said. It's just about changing things. Like I pretty much made the decision when I was about 13 or 14 years old that I wanted to do whatever I could to make sure that no kid had to go through what I went through. So just a little bit of background. So I'm autistic. And back in the day, my autism was a lot more visible. And that's how I'm going to put it. I'm going to say it was visible. Not that I'm high functioning, because that whole thing is a cop-out. Either you have the resources to learn how to pass, which I should not have to do, but that is what I do, I pass. Or you do not have the resources to learn how to pass, period. And so, I went through a lot. I went through physical, emotional, and psychological abuse from my peers and from the adults around me. Because of who I was. And I call it that as opposed to bullying, because I mean that term has been weaponized against folks who speak out against their abuse for a very long time. And it's been used as a way of like, oh yeah, bullying, it's a part of growing up. You get teased a little bit, but it helps you grow your backbone or whatever. No, that shit almost killed me. People a few different times. I've been dealing with suicidal ideation since I was 8 years old. And I mean, it can really be devastating. And so, you know, I went through a lot of isolation, and it took me a very long time to come into my own, but I was able to come into my own because of social justice spaces and because of the people that I had around me who cultivated an environment where I could learn more about me and learn more about how what I went through wasn't my fault, and learn more about what I can do to try and change some of this. So, you know, I think I will leave it there because I know that we've got a lot of questions to get to and whatnot, but, you know, ask me whatever.
I love it. Thank you so much for breaking it down. And thank you for, you know, breaking down the language that oppresses us, you know, and someone in chat said that as well. And that's a perfect place to start. We do have, you know, prepared questions, but free flowing conversation, we're going to let spirit take it, you know, where it needs to go. But you started with bullying, and that is a perfect segue into one of the questions that I would like y'all to expound on, because people think of bullying, they automatically think of youth, right? And they think this is something that happens to children, you know, in elementary or middle school. You know, typically we think of the typical victim being like we think of typical everything being white, you know, small child, blonde hair, blue eyed, right? But in essence, that bullying takes so many forms, even when you're an activist, right? Even when you're standing strong in who you are and being unapologetic. I know for me, I still experience it every day with, you know, whether it's someone throwing a barrage of questions at me. Well, why don't you think the police should be funded? And I don't understand is my favorite bullying term. So what I want to know from all of you, and I'll just let y'all just jump in as you see fit, is what is the biggest challenges and what are some of those experiences that you've had as an activist that have made you go, whoa, you know, whether you classify it as bullying or ignorance or what have you, what are some of those things that you've experienced that have been really challenging and that have made you, you know, have to step back and go into prayer and meditation? And I'll throw it out to anybody who wants to jump in. I asked an intriguing question that they had to think about, y'all.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to be succinct here. I mean, that's huge. That's like a all the time kind of thing. So I don't know, like, what's the scope? What is the scope here?
I would say, okay, how about the very last thing that has happened that made you go into prayer and meditation and, you know, before you went off on somebody, or something that just made, you know, gave you great pause, or something that was challenging? The very last thing that you can remember that has happened. And I know some of us, if not all of us, have even put our bodies on the line this year. You can talk about that too as well. If there was a challenge, you know, to do that. That was going to actually be my next question, but I'll mold them together. So yeah, what is the hardest part? The very last thing you can remember that was like, or the hardest part about doing this work?
Okay, I have one. Oh, who was talking? Go for it.
Okay, if I can just jump in.
Mm-hmm.
It was very recent, the night of the election. So what, Tuesday night? A family friend was here watching the election with us, and we got to talking about like race and such, as often happens, being the only Black person in the house, and they just love to talk about race, bring it up for no reason. But and she started like criticizing the protests and were being done with fighting and, you know, protests, Black people resisting white people in general. And it was very hard to restrain myself, because it was someone who was a friend of the family and it's hard to not like really just go off on them while still wanting to educate them, wanting them to get the information that they need and illustrate the point that you want to illustrate while they're very deep set in their beliefs. And it's hard as someone who's young to tell an adult who believes that their experience is far greater than someone who's young, even though they're white and their views, as long as they live, they will not have experience as a Black person. So it's very difficult. I find it very difficult to gap that bridge and get the points across, especially when they're directly attacking what you believe in and the fight for your ability just to exist. So that was the most recent thing, and yeah.
A pretty powerful thing that came out of that question. And I feel you on that, even though I'm old. Like Buffy said, she graduated in 2008, like that makes her old. I'm the oldest person on this panel. It's hard. I remember that being an issue, when I first started activism work as a youth. And we've got this division in our community right now, particularly here in Des Moines, but I would imagine it's everywhere. And it's a generational division. A lot of Gen Xers, my age, think that, we need to work within the system. And, everybody's face reacted to that, and it's like, how long are you going to do that, before we just tear it down and build a new system? And yeah, I can feel you on that, because for me, it's going against my peers when I say things like that. I can't imagine I can't imagine it's even tougher as a youth going against an adult, or trying to educate an adult. So thank you for that. All right, Buffy, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, so I think my most recent let me step back and breathe experience has been dealing with media. It's one thing to witness it, right, and be like, yep, here we go again. Of course, that's how they put it. Of course, that's how they framed it. It's one thing to read about it in books and read and learn and read articles and whatnot about media treatment of Black people. It is a whole other thing to experience it yourself, like firsthand. So let's talk a little bit about so the Iowa Queer Communities of Color Coalition hosted a march and rally this summer. It was called Black Lives Matter Unity Rally, and it was called Unity because it was supposed to be queer centered, and it was queer Black centered. Every last speaker was queer and Black, or trans and Black. And we made absolutely certain of that. I got contacted by a reporter saying, I want to learn more about this upcoming rally and whatnot. And, at the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, cool, sure. This will be a great opportunity to, get this rally out there and, get people to come and, support and whatnot. First of all, did an initial interview, had some weird questions where I was like, okay, I thought this was supposed to be about the rally, but you're asking me personal questions about me and asking me for a photo and whatnot. And, I talked with the other organizers, which is another thing too. During this time, they kept saying over the phone over and over again, I know you're an organizer. I know you're, one of the people who's organizing this. And I'm just like, do you want to be quiet? What exactly, what are you doing here? Right. And so, it was just stuff like that. And then I ended up getting another text message or another message from a photographer who was like, hey, can we get a photo? Or can I come and take a photo of you? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to send it. That way, the article can just be out there. And at this point, the march and rally had come and gone. So I was a little frustrated. And it wasn't until I talked to a really good friend of mine who, her background is in PR, that's what she got her degree in, where she was like, okay, so basically they bullied you into giving them a photo. And I'm like, I guess that is what happened there. And then the article came out, and it was almost like an expose of like all of the different people who had done any organizing whatsoever around Black Lives Matter. Um, and that's when the police here started using that article, and basically they just went down the line arresting people one by one. And so I'm just sitting here at the bottom of the list like, well, shit, I guess, I guess I'm next. Hell. So just stuff like that, where I'm sure that this person did not mean for it to cause harm. But when you're not completely and 100% upfront from the beginning, and when you're looking for a specific story and you're not exactly telling the people that you're interviewing what that story is, especially when it comes to organizers, especially when it comes to Black organizers, you're putting them in danger. You just are. And so, yeah, that's definitely one. That's just one example of media. There's been others,
Yes.
but I'll leave it there.
That's a powerful example. And when you mentioned media, I saw every head on the panel go, yep. So I don't want to move off of that just yet, and give everybody else a chance. Does anybody else want to comment on that? Because when she said that, it seemed to hit every last one of us. So I want to give y'all the opportunity to weigh in on that as well if you want to. They're looking at me like, I don't know if I want to tell. And also, anything I ask, of course, if you don't feel comfortable sharing, just say, I'm not sharing that. Because I definitely don't want to put anybody. Go ahead.
I know I just spoke, but like the media is a big part of thing, really. But what I wanted to say was, with the situation I had the other day, a big part of it was the media, and I saw this thing where it was like, there have been riots before for very dumb reasons, like a team wins a sport team wins a game, and then there's riots in the street. And the way the news covers it is, oh, they're just having fun. They're having such a good time after the game, destroying property, flipping cars, burning down buildings. But the media is just, oh, they're having so much fun. And then when it's Black Lives Matter protesting for people being murdered, then it's these thugs in the street are burning down these buildings of innocent white people. And so the thing I saw, they switched it over. They put the audio from the Black Lives Matter riots over onto the sports game riots, and you see the huge difference where they look at the white riders, and they say these thugs are burning down the buildings and they're losing control and all these things. And it really illustrates that the media has a huge influence on the way that everything is portrayed, because everyone is being influenced by the media, the way that they say the exact words they use, the way that they go about presenting things, and it's all subjective. Because the riots that are for Black Lives Matter, they're for a good cause. The sports games, they're just dumb. But regardless, it's going to be one's presented one way, one's presented another because of racism. Like it's always the underlying issue. And so that's just what I had to say.
Right. And like, by the way, as someone with a higher education background, when they do frame stuff like that way, especially with sporting events, especially at the university level, that is not helpful. All it does is encourage folks. Like, that doesn't help anybody, but okay.
And I think the overall with the media, the tone policing is really what gets me. And I just have to laugh, because it's like, oh, we support you until you truly start to challenge white supremacy, like protest, but don't protest too much. Like, march in the street with like your little sign and just be like, yes, Black Lives Matter. But when we're like, we're going to burn this establishment down, that's when you really see, people are like, oh no, not this, like this is too much, And so that's what really just, I think, irks me, like with the media, is telling us how we should feel about these issues, you know? Like, how are you gonna tell me, sit here in my blackface and tell me this is how you need to feel about police killing your people, about all of this stuff, you know?
You better say that. I want to give Georgia and Aja a chance to weigh in on that too, but you better say that because, yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a chance before I go there. Anything y'all have on your spirit? No? Okay, I'm gonna jump in on that. Yeah, you better say that, Lynette, because that tone policing has just been out of control, you know, and it's meant to put us in our place, right? Which is exactly the reason we're out in them streets, right? Because we are protesting against that very thing. We're protesting for our humanity. And then the media, you know, comes along and says, you know, you can have this much humanity, but you can't get too out of hand because you'll make the white folks uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we had a lynching in Iowa earlier last month. And we did a whole, I can curse on this, right? We did a whole press release on this lynching. Several organizations came together, did a whole press release, a whole press conference on this lynching, issued a state of emergency for Black people in Iowa because, yeah, we're at that place, right? We've been in a state of emergency for a while, but it's really amped up, like it's time to declare it, and we did. And I tell you what, the way the media reported that was so disappointing. It was almost like, okay, that's just a little too strong, so we're not gonna, you know, say exactly what you said. You know, thank God we recorded that press conference ourselves because, you know, watching it on the news media or reading it, you would never have gotten, first of all, they never called it a lynching, number one. So you would have never understood that. And as a result, Black folks across the state don't have the resources that we gave either, you know? So you just got me on my soapbox with that tone policing.
And by the way, Luana, I don't know if I told you this or had this conversation with you, but when I watched that back on Channel 13, the newscaster straight up called us colored people, did not go back. There was no retraction. There was no, and said it like it was just, you know, that was the correct term. Like we back in the 1960s. Yes, there is a group who's trying to improve the lives of colored people here in the metro. And then went on with the story. I was like, what? What just happened?
That part. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember you actually had the captions on and sent a screenshot. And for sure, he said colored people. So everybody watching, don't say that. Okay. I'm hoping that our audience is, you know, informed enough to know that, yeah, that's not what you say. And to be in that position of power to shape the narrative of our story and then refer to us in such antiquated racist terms is why we're in a state of emergency. That's why, you know, because then the rest of the state thinks that's okay. And that's the first step in dehumanization, right? Is that labeling. So yeah, that's a thing. And a lot of us have, you know, put our bodies on the line when we organized the march that we did. It was specifically around Black women, Black femmes, and you know, they came out with a law that you had to have a permit to gather just days before our march, and I'm sure that that was purposefully done. Not that they necessarily wanted to target us, but Black Lives Matter, Des Moines BLM now had a march the next day. And so it put us in a position where, you know, we either had to get permits and if we did, we would set them up, or we had to risk arrest ourselves. And, you know, we just risked the arrest. And then when the media showed up, the questions, were automatically, are you the lead organizer? I know you're the lead organizer. Why? So you can have my name in print, as organizing and doing this illegal thing. It's ridiculous. I do see a question, unless anybody else wants to jump in either on the most challenging thing or something on the media. I do see a question in chat. So let me give Aja and Georgia the mic.
Baby, do you want to go first?
Are we talking about media or what are we talking about?
Either something that was the last thing that was challenging for you or the most challenging thing, or media, because we're free flowing conversation. You know how we do in a circle, in a healing circle.
Sounds good. I'll talk about the last thing that, who was it? Was it Lynette that said irked me? Because I love that. I'm going to say that now. It irked me. Okay, sorry, my notifications are going off. When I was little, like in elementary school, we learned about like Ruby Bridges and whatever, like the nice Black people, right? And I always remember thinking, and this was so silly of me, but I was like, I wish that I lived back then so I could make a difference, right? My whole thing was like, I feel like I want to have an impact on the world, but I can't do that now because everything's fixed, right? And of course, now I know that was like so naive of me to think that. And I started doing core work like my sophomore year, I think, and then it was like during our long spring break that turned into forever this year when George Floyd was killed, and I was hanging out with my white boyfriend. And I don't know what snapped in me, but I realized, one, like there's so much more work to be done. Like it was in that moment that I realized that the work is continuous. At that moment I felt it was never going to end, and it never had ended before. And it was simply the system wanting me to think that it was over. And then in that moment, I just went off on this poor boy that grew up in a Republican home and had no idea what was about to happen to him. And I basically just went off and explained that no matter what we do as Black people, they hate us. They hate us. They make us poor. They give us drugs. They send us to prison. They send our fathers to prison, and then they make fun of us for not having dads. They don't let our moms get jobs. They kick people off of food stamps, and then they gentrify our neighborhoods and take away our grocery stores, and they do everything that they can so that we will never be successful and we will never thrive, because this is not a system that was built to serve us. And in that moment, I was not only teaching him, who was very receptive to it, bless his heart, thank him, but I was teaching myself. Like in that moment, I was yelling and I was aggravated, and I was like, when you choke up on your tears, because I was talking to myself, and I was coming to terms with that fact in my heart, as heavy as it made me feel, that was my truth. And I was really kind of teaching myself, and I just took it out on my boyfriend because it was convenient. And so that, I think, was the last moment where, one, I felt down, because, it was just a lot of emotion. And I think it was Fannie Lou Hamer who said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's just where I found myself, and especially after, and I'm so grateful to have opportunities like this to speak about my work, because it truly is my passion. Not only is it like a means for my own survival and the survival of like, my family, and like my children in the future and my people, but I also just deeply am passionate about this work. But also it's exhausting, and it's so emotionally draining that after months and months of white folks or white teachers asking for me to share my experience free of compensation, free of appreciation, because they had convinced me and themselves that it was my job to educate them on the oppression they had caused me for so long, it just drains you, And I see all these people snapping because that's genuinely the reality. They force you down, they oppress you, and the few people that they allow to educate and grow themselves, and learn and thrive, they beat you back down by stealing the information away from you. That's truly all it is, right? So it's just frustrating. And I think like it was in that moment that I had to come to terms with it. And of course it's still bugging me, but that was probably the last time that I had to come to terms with something that I had been struggling with a long time and had wanted to force out, especially since I'm mixed, I have a white mother. So it wasn't a large topic of discussion in my household. So yeah, I think that was probably the last thing that really it was a struggle for me to deal with, but I wouldn't take it back for the world. It's something that I think changed me for the better. So yeah.
I can't even go ahead, Aja.
Oh God, I just want to say that Georgia reminds me so much of my co-organizer, Megan Poole. She's originally from East Texas. She has a white mother and a black father too. And coming from Texas, like she just is like, I'm not used to people being this ignorant. And she, went to the Boone schools, and she had such a hard time in Boone schools where like, every time they want to talk about slavery, they're like looking at her. Every time she wants to write something about Black people in a positive light, they're like, no. I mean, she had such a hard time. And she said that the only halfway decent time she experienced in Boone schools was when everything went online. That was the only time she felt safe. And that just breaks my heart. She's a baby. She is 18 years old. This is a baby. Like, what are y'all doing in these schools? I mean, but I will say what has been most frustrating for me has been people telling me what to feel and how to feel. So after the march, we all we did was walk on a sidewalk for a mile and a mile circle with some signs. I mean, yeah, there was a large number, especially for Boone, downtown Boone. I mean, Boone is a small town, but we marched and yelled in a circle. And what people have taken the biggest issue with is in the group description. So when the group got formed and I took over, I wanted to create a really safe space for people, primarily Black people, but just people to speak about police brutality. And what I've honestly gotten has been more white people telling me these god awful stories that make me think there's not a chance, because if they're treating white people like this, I mean, I might as well lock myself in the house. Like, y'all over here dragging white children by their hair, white babies, disabled white babies. I could go all night about the stories I've heard. And the Iowa Standard, I'm going to say their names, the Iowa Standard, and there are people in Boone that talk about, my name is Aja Lyons, that's A''J' lowercase a Lyons. When you talk about the Boone organizers and you specifically mean me in your little racist city council meetings, June 8th, everyone in that meeting was racist. I should put the YouTube video up. I've never felt such racism in Boone until that city council meeting where they spoke about the march and they spoke about us. And instead of being explicit, like we don't all have our government names on our Facebook pages and in the group, but the group description says we support abolishing and defunding the police, no pro-law enforcement language. And people disregarded that rule. Not the description, the rule number 1. I wanted to create a safe space where people wouldn't feel gaslit into sharing their experiences. And so many people took so much issue with that. It's like, yeah, we support you, but this language of abolishing and defunding the police, it's like, well, when it's our public schools and they don't have enough teachers and EAs, and it's not that Boone schools aren't fantastic. There are some wonderful teachers working their behinds off, but they don't have the money. And yet, Boone, while some of the officers do good work they shouldn't have to, that's not in their job description, the reality is this is a small town. We don't need the numbers that we have. They don't need some of the gear that they have. And they do cut corners with, send one person out for a training and that person comes back and trains the whole people. I think that's why some things get lost, because the de-escalation, that's really a Russian roulette when you send a Boone officer out. It's Russian roulette. Some of them are fantastic at de-escalating. I think it has nothing to do with the training, but who that specific person is and maybe their background. And others, there was one officer, if I had his name, I'd say it, who got mad at me, got his little feelings hurt, and wouldn't let me back into my own house because he was on a power trip. Yeah, and if I remembered his name, I'd say this was August 17th, 2019. But people, the Iowa Standard wrote an article saying their rule number 1 is no discussing the police. They need to focus on the good cops. Why do I need to focus on the good cops when A, there have been police fired for actually speaking out against racist police officers who caused harm. Like, no, there are not good cops, you're firing them. And number two, don't tell me to focus on who's good when people are dead. So the next time some white child's missing, well, my child's at home, why should I care? The next time some child is like on the news dead, well, my child's alive, why should I care? Focus on the children who are alive, focus on the children who aren't missing. No, no. And just because you don't care when your child is harmed or goes missing, or some other white child is harmed or goes missing or faces such brutality, doesn't mean we care, because white people, I've learned, don't care about other white people. I had a big misconception. Growing up in Houston, you have the choice if you want to be racially segregated. It's a very segregated city. There's all white, all Black, all Hispanic, all Asian areas. And so I grew up in the oldest Black residential area in Houston. And so I had to actively go out and be with other people. But I'm seeing this and I'm thinking, why? What, like, I'm sick, you're telling me I need to focus on my healthy cells? I mean, that's been hard, but the other hardest component has been other Black people in these small towns who have been Black in these small towns for such a long time, and they feel that respectability politics has done well for them. And I'm not trying to negate their experience at all. And for them, being the good, respectable, college-educated Negro married to the nice, clean-cut white boy has been successful for them. That's fine. That's well and good. I'm I'm dating a white boy too, but you know, I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is, people who don't adhere to that don't deserve to be mistreated. And you can't tell me I need to adjust my language and my approach simply because it makes your white friends uncomfortable. Now, you can provide some suggestions on how I might be able to reach more people and alter that language, but at the same time, also acknowledge that no matter how I say things, some people just don't want to hear it, or just don't want to agree with me, or just want me to be silent. Because anyone who's met me, I'm about as threatening as a koala bear. Really, I'm 5 feet tall. I look like this. I am as threatening as a koala bear. So if someone considers me a threat, it is simply because of my Black skin is a threat to them. That's really all it is. And some people are just so fragile. So I've had Black people telling me I need to do things this way, or they're sharing, not because I don't have to say her name, but they're doing things that they're wanting to do things the way they've always done them. And that's not going to get us further. Or also another instance, this will be my last point. White people who are in their minds so well-intentioned and so well and good, you might not say their names. You're not even talking about them. But for instance, I had a discussion. We were having a agreeing, and somehow she felt threatened. We were agreeing and she felt threatened. This one woman I had to escort out of my group, who stated, she stated that she believed that the police chief was not open to hearing any negative criticism. And I said, I legitimately thought he never had been told any negative criticism, because the people who've been most harmed by Boone police are people of color who are just going to sit there and take it, as honestly I did until people came out to the march, or people who are poor, no matter, regardless of what race they are. You know, they're getting tickets they can't afford, whether they did something or not. But Lord, some of the people in Boone, you've seen some of the Boone houses. You have these gorgeous estates, and then you have people in these little shacks, and the foundation's messed up. And they haven't expressed anything. And when they have, they've been silenced. And I said, that's why he's probably never heard anything. And I said, you have these people in these like $300,000+ homes who, you know, write a check for charity once a year and think they're doing something, and they're not really listening, they're not hearing, blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, she's sending me a message saying I attacked her. I will send screenshots. I will drop screenshots. And so these people who think they're such allies, they think they're such advocates, they think they're such freedom fighters, and they believe in this, and they put this profile photo up, which is why, you know, we're not partisan, we're not into any of that, because the same person who thinks they're so woke will all of a sudden, you say something that's pertaining to them and saying these group of people who, you know, are this and do this, whether they do this or not, are problematic or harmful. You have just attacked their whole family and all they're about, and they've donated so much money to charity, and you don't know their life, and how dare you, and I don't deserve to be insulted and attacked. Blocked. The hit dogs holler.
Yeah.
Wow, real quick,
ahead.
while
No,
we're on
jump
the
in.
subject of silencing and respectability politics, I swear to God, if I hear one more time, oh, if Trump wins, it's because all of these people didn't go out and vote, and we need to talk to these people who aren't voting, and da-da-da-da. Like, will you stop? First of all, can we talk about the people who got their asses up early in the morning, got dressed, put on their best, went to the polls and actually voted this person in? Can we talk about that? Excuse me. And like this idea that your vote is your ultimate source of power. No, it's not. That's a silencing tactic. Don't tell me that. That shut up and vote. No, that's not going to do it. That has never done it. There has been no election in the history of this country that has brought anybody who is oppressed freedom at all, because that's not the point. That was never the point. Like, it's about knowing your history. So yeah, just want to throw that one out there. Stop it with the either vote or don't be, or be quiet, or vote and be quiet, or just stop. No. And also, if you weren't out there working your behind off to make sure that people were able to get to the polls, and that people weren't being suppressed, and that the folks who historically haven't had the means to get there, and I'm talking about people on reservations, I'm talking about people who work multiple jobs, I'm talking about people who are living on the streets right now. If you haven't done anything to help these folks get to the polls, I don't want to hear anything about how you're disappointed in them for not going. But I'll stop now.
I got kicked out. So I am back. So did I come back in just as you ended, Buffy? Okay. And I was feeling it too. I'm like, I missed the very last end, so now I can't segue. Oh my gosh. But the respectability politics, absolutely, 100%. And one of the powerful things that you just said that I did hear before my internet told me I was unstable, as if I need an internet lecturing at me, was, your vote is the most powerful thing, when the whole system, is set up to be oppressive. So my oppression is my most powerful thing? I don't think so. Absolutely not. So thank you for saying that, and for everything that everybody has brought out. Believe it or not, it is 8:05 and we have gone for an hour, and we do have a couple of questions. So I guess I'll pause real quick to see, does anybody need to go? Or do you all want to stay on for a little bit and run through these last couple of questions, and then any final thoughts? It looks like everybody's nodding. So for the participants, we're going to stay on a little longer. Hopefully I won't get kicked out again. Ignore my child in the background. This is what it looks like when you're a mom, right? And we'll jump right in, unless anyone wanted to jump in on the tail end of what Buffy said that I missed. I don't want to, because that was a good flow, and I don't want to interrupt that at all. That was amazing, the way that y'all just did that. Okay, then I'll read these couple of questions that I see in the Q&A. The first one is,
Can I say one thing?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Just one thing. To all the Black people who might be watching this, or white people sharing this with Black people, I just want you to remember who has been shot and who has been killed in their nice suits, voting and being peaceful, and that looking down upon other Black people when you see them in the grocery store because they don't look like you or behave like you, that's not going to save anyone. It doesn't make you look any better either.
Oh, you better say that. That one puts me on a soapbox in a real personal way, because in 2016, I became a widow, and I never planned to be single at this age. And when I tell you, when I walk in a grocery store and Black men quickly look away, it's a thing. It's real. It's like, I'm not after you because you're walking with your white wife. You don't have to be nervous that, my sexuality does not define me. That is not, I'm not animalistic, ready to jump and pounce. Okay. But, it's heartbreaking, it's heartbreaking because, the white wife will say hello quicker than her husband will, like, hi, how are you? And he, whoop, gone, right? The division in our community is so toxic, whether it comes from the respectability politics, like you need to, are we back on the plantation? Like, don't let massa catch you reading. That's what it feels like, right? We ain't supposed to read. You need to use your vote, whether it's that or it's, can't look at you because you're a Black woman and I might make my white wife uncomfortable. This division has got to stop. So, now for, white people in the audience, you are now getting a glimpse of conversations that we don't always do in mixed company. So this is when, we done got real, right? Because we're doing the conversations now that you don't necessarily see, but still needs to be had. And that's what we do in our activism. We're unapologetic. We say what we know is true and we stand on truth, right? So thank you, Aja, for that. You really touched my nerve with that one. So should I jump into these questions? I don't want to, in case anybody else has any, feels on that and wants to get something out. Everybody here has spoken some powerful, powerful words. And everybody should know we are being compensated for this. I want to lift up what Georgia said earlier about free labor. Never, ever, ever ask someone to do labor for free. Never, ever. It is not okay. We've been, since the plantation, we've been expected to accommodate and provide free labor. When you do that, it is akin to slavery. That is an absolute no. And that goes for Black people asking Black people as well. This is our lives on the line and we're passionate about this. And this means life or death for most of us. We do not offer this for free. And I just remembered that Georgia mentioned that and I wanted to lift that up before I read this question. And there's only two. And so once we do these, then, I'll do another check, final words, and then we can jump out of here because I have a martini waiting. This question says, you're all at different places in your activism work, with some of you starting out while others have been doing it for years. What advice do those of you who have been engaging in activism work for many years have for the younger, newer activists? And if y'all are okay, I want to answer this one because I think, well, I know for sure I'm the oldest person on the panel. I believe everybody on here is young enough to be my child, right? And my answer to that, to this anonymous attendee who asked, is I don't have advice for them. I don't teach them, they teach me. That's the difference when it comes to activism. The older you get, the more entrenched you get in respectability politics, the more entrenched you get in being caught up in the nonprofit industrial complex, right? Like I'm the executive director of a nonprofit. If I don't get funding, I don't eat, right? And that's another chain on my ankle, right? It's nonprofit. The nonprofit complex is another form of slavery. It's also another system, right? And it's easy to get caught up in that. Whereas your younger activists, they don't have that, right? It's all about what's right. It's all about the passion. It's all about being unapologetic. And they come with fresh and new ideas that make me stand back and think and redo, what I'm doing. They keep me in check, not the other way around. So I don't have any advice for them. I take advice from them. So hopefully that answers. Does anybody else want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I can jump in a little bit. So my advice is definitely figure out how to sit within yourself and just feel your emotions. Because a lot of this is super heavy and it's super hard and it can be triggering. And it can cause you to start remembering stuff that you hadn't thought about in years. So, you know, learning those self-care pieces and learning how to take care of yourself while you are continuing to learn is super important. And then just as important is paying attention to who it is who's around you. So if you happen to be in social justice circles where it's like you say one wrong word and all hell breaks loose, especially if you're a person coming from a marginalized community yourself, that's not the group for you. Find the space that is not toxic, where you continue to learn, and that will help you. That will help nurture you as you grow. Yeah, and for folks who have been doing this for a while, who are talking down to, you know, younger folks coming out here who are in the exact same situation that you was in when you were first trying to learn, chill. Especially if they're a part of the community that you're supposedly working to help, chill, let them learn. And, you know, it's always okay to, like, always anyway, period. Like, let someone know if they have said something wrong and, you know, either tell them to go Google it or explain it or whatever, but do not, you know, basically discourage a young person in your community from ever wanting to speak up or ask a question again.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Buffy. You're absolutely right. I concur with everything you said. You can get burnt out. And in fact, people that know me know that I 100% believe that this work and trying to navigate all that it means being Black in Iowa is actually what killed my husband. So I would say definitely take care of yourself. Definitely surround yourself with non-toxic people in non-toxic circumstances, and live your truth while taking care of yourself at all times. And sometimes that means extra care, right? I took this week off. I thought I was going to take this week off. Didn't work that way. But pretty soon I'm going to take 3 weeks off, you know, and I have to, you know, and that seems excessive to most people. Like, how can you take 3 weeks off? Watch me, right? It's why I'm still here, right? So thank you, Buffy, for saying that. And then I would just add one more thing. I said I didn't have any advice, but there's one more. One sentence to master: what is your budget? So anytime anyone says, would you, your next word is, what is your budget? Never do this work for free. Not unless you're, you know, tearing down systems. When we're out marching, yes, we do that for free, but we are working towards solutions. When people ask you, you know, would you speak? Would you draw? What is your budget? That's always your question. And if the answer is, I don't have one, then you say, I refer you to, right? That's my other piece of advice. So final question, and it's actually a really good one to kind of work our way out. It says, the conversation this evening is touching, engaging, and motivating. I hope this isn't a one-off. Do you have suggestions for being part of similar discussions that are ongoing? So does anyone have anything coming up that our audience should know about? And if so, please feel free to jump in and let us know.
Yeah, if you follow the Des Moines Pride Center, we have monthly BIPOC forums where we just get together and discuss issues in the community. So there is one place. Also, because of the pandemic, everything is going online now, and I've been a part of so many really cool webinars from across the country that I otherwise would not have had access to, which is another question and another thing to think about, especially if and when the pandemic does end. Accessibility is super important, and if we could do it this easily this entire time, like to think that through and hold people accountable. But yeah, that's my advice there.
Anybody else? I see Aja put something. Is that your Facebook, Aja?
Yeah, so we're doing a Facebook Live event on November 11th at 5 p.m. And we are holding a discussion. We're really trying to have a focus on rural Black Iowans. No offense to you city folks, but we're really trying to focus on the rural Black experience and sort of, what moving forward looks like, and having that initial discussion on, well, yes, there are some issues here, or here are these areas where this can quickly, easily escalate to something that has us on KCCI, and how to engage in these front load actions and services to prevent this. And that prevention really is important, and being proactive instead of reactive, and how important that is, instead of continuing to say, there's no racism problem with this entity or that entity in insert small town Iowa.
I'm sorry, I had minimized, and then you caught me off guard, and I had to enlarge it again. You're right. I think somebody should write a blog called Insert Small Town Iowa. There you go. Let's do it. Let's all collaborate on it, right? And then we can all put our own, weekly comments in there. I'm for real. Y'all think I'm playing? Let's do this. Let's create a Facebook group. So participants, you've heard it here first. You may see a Facebook group called Insert Small Town Iowa, and it will be us. So any other final comments? I missed a question, and I'll ask it quickly. It says, how many panelists have lived outside of Iowa, and how has this shaped your identity and your activism work? Raise your hand if you've lived outside. Okay, so 4 of us have, and it's made me who I am. It's made me unapologetic. It's made me know that I have community that doesn't look like here, right? And if I didn't know that, I don't know what kind of person I would be, because once you step outside of this state, there's community that will love on you, that's just like you, that is vastly different than a lot of the communities here. So that would be how it shaped me. Anybody else want to jump in? And
I think going off of what you just said, Luana, I think as somebody who has never legitimately lived outside of Iowa, my experience is kind of similar but kind of opposite of yours. I think that for me, because I've grown up in a neighborhood and in an area in which there are no Black people at all, I live in Beaverdale, there are no Black people there, that I have latched on to people that look like me and have the same experiences as me, and that's allowed me to have such an amazing group of people. Ezra has been my man since 2nd grade, because I was there's more of me, right? Because I had never seen another mixed kid before. And so since 2nd grade, 10 years, we have been doing this stuff. So I think it's I think I've been lucky enough to kind of been forced almost into this community of amazing young people they're all in the same boat as me. They're all trying to figure out what their place is in Iowa, in which 93% of the population is white. And I don't know, I think I've been really lucky enough to have that experience. So I have this really amazing, solid group of people, so that when I go out into the world beyond Iowa, which I pray to God I will do, please Lord, let me leave Iowa. I will know that I will always have this family of people to come back to. No matter what, I'll always have this community of people, and I'm really lucky to have that.
If I could jump in real quick, I got 3 things to say. 1, Buffy, I saw you reacting. George and I live in Beaverdale, and we also both went to Perkins, Maryland, and Roosevelt. So that's really cool. I was like, oh, Perkins and Roosevelt. The second thing is for the last question. On 7th, Georgia and I are going to be doing a presentation for the White Privilege Symposium, and I'll link the link in the chat right now. So that, and then the question before that, I wanted to just say something really quick. As the youngest person here in the chat, I believe, like advice that I have for younger people, I kind of took that question as like, what would I say to my younger self, like the really young kids, like middle school, preschool, elementary, people who are like, they barely even know that they're Black yet. But my advice to them would be, Black is beautiful. You deserve to exist. You matter. And one other thing was, I can't remember. I don't just oh yeah, you're not alone. That's the biggest thing. Like, you are about to join into the most amazing group experience that exists, and you're not alone. You deserve to exist, and being Black is a blessing. Even though it's disguised as a curse, it is without a doubt a blessing. And so that's what I'd have to say to younger individuals.
See, I told y'all I learned from them. Powerful, powerful stuff. Thank you guys so much. Does anybody else have any closing comments, anything that you want to say, either to guests or each other? Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Buffy.
You got it, Buffy. You got it.
Okay. Just real quick, please follow the hashtag Black Emergency IA. So Black Emergency Iowa, for more updates about the Black state of emergency here in Iowa, and to learn more about some of the initiatives that we're going to have coming out here soon. But yeah, exactly. Thank you, Luana. She just put that in chat. Yep, perfect. Thank you, Nikki. Please follow that hashtag if you want to learn about how to get involved, if you want to learn about keeping yourself safe, if you want to learn about keeping your Black family and friends safe, follow that hashtag and please get involved.
Thank you for reminding us that. All right, Lynette, you want to bring us home?
I actually wrote this down before as we were, and I'll read it straight from here. So it sounds like how I said it. But at first, I want everyone listening to remember that Blackness is not monolithic. There's no one size fits all. This is how you're supposed to be Black. No, Blackness and people who are Black, we come in just all, just all walks of life and all different experiences. So always remember that. And then this was one of the questions that I don't know if we got to, but it was about Black liberation. And for me, I just wanted to say Black liberation is affirming the lives of all Black lives and or all Black people, and not devaluing people based on things like gender and sexuality. And liberation is just the right to self-determine, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Yeah.
That is the perfect closing words, and why we all do what we do and why we support each other. Black liberation is the goal, right? So thank you. I'm so glad that you wrote that down. And, I think I did none of the pre-written questions, actually, but that is the perfect way for us to go out, I think, unless anyone else has anything, because I do not like to close and end with anyone left hanging with anything on their spirit, right? I like to get that out and clear that out and make sure. So thank you. Black liberation, that's what it's about. We're not monolithic. While you heard from us today and we're all Black, you heard all different perspectives, because we have all different perspectives. And liberation is what we're working towards. And liberation, I think I speak for all the panelists, is what we find when we become unapologetic and we do the work that we do. That's where liberation lies. So thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed to have shared the screen with all of you. You guys have my contact information. Do not be a stranger. I feel like we should have weekly coffees. And thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I hope that you had a great experience. Reach out to the Ames Pride and Ames Public Library for more events, www.amespride.org. And we will see you on the other side. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.